Right now, we have the conjunction of Saturn and Neptune at Aries. With this conjunction, it indicates an architecture of the ideal self. We are the ones, the self, who's drafting the concept of who we are. This concept is informed by Jupiter transit through Gemini, seeing ourselves in contrast to who they wanted us to be through infiltration of the mind. The Aquarius Pluto transit insists that we show up authentic this time. With Neptune and Aries, it's dissolving what we used to be so that we can construct who we actually are. That's the difference. We've accomplished a lot to get to this point where the slate can be clean, a fresh white sheet of paper, and you have your pens, your markers, your rulers, and you're about to draft the concept. Venus at Taurus is now about to initiate cultivation of the values that goes with that concept, the reality that goes with that concept, and the sense of stability, comfort, that supports that concept. This all has to be cultivated gradually up until the Scorpio season through the astral body. At the same time that this is happening, Jupiter is preparing to head into Cancer, which brings in the inner child's needs. It's bringing it on a freight truck. The biggest truck that Amazon can push out to the streets. And that is an inpouring of what we need to feel emotionally secure, acknowledged, nurtured, advocated for, and sustained. This does not necessarily equal to material, but it equals to experiences that allows us to feel that way. Jupiter is bringing what gives us the feeling of being emotionally whole, connected, a sense of belonging. At our Cancer placement, this is where we reconcile, negotiate, argue, advocate, where we serve and work towards those outcomes that gives us that feeling. Most of this is accomplished in the relationships that we have with those who are closest to us. Globally, you see, especially here in America, there's a rising self-awareness from a national standpoint, where the arguments are generating on who has the right to what land, who's indigenous to where, who should be supported, what is right and what is wrong concerning all of these things, the border crisis, ICE turning up. Now, I'm not here to ask anybody to pick sides or go down that rabbit hole. But what I am emphasizing is self-realization is at the forefront. Who are we and what are our origins? What have we and who have we been identifying with and why? We are rewriting the story on what self really means. We are rewriting the story. Mercury transiting Cancer is going to be an ethereal support that helps us to articulate those very difficult emotional conversations and negotiations that assures us that the emotional needs and demands that we have within the emotional body, that is, in the image of the inner child, we're making sure that that part of us never gets neglected, overlooked, put aside, silenced, forgotten, neglected in any interactions that we have in our life. We realize now that if we are to go anywhere or do anything, I have to be respected from the inside out. I have to be honored and acknowledged from the inside out. We don't go anywhere without accommodation for the inner child. And this manifests as your particular needs according to your emotional sensitivities, insecurities, your triggers, your boundaries, anything that leaves you feeling without your dignity, self-respect, or your well-being overall, compromising the well-being. All of this comes to the forefront. Mercury will help us to explain matters of the heart, articulate matters of the heart that are very difficult to convey from the emotional body. The sun is very easy to communicate as Mercury is always close to the sun. But the moon is always in a faster orbit, communicating on behalf of every stellium, every sign, every house, every planet, as it moves in its orbit. So it's not so easy to read from the lunar expression of Cancer. It is a feeling-based algorithm of spirit. But with Mercury there's help with that. We're able to explain those little things that are hard to say, hard to get off the chest. And a lot of times we don't trust ourselves with that because the emotion is greater than the clarity. I don't want to come off the wrong way, ruffle any feathers, so on and so forth. So we hold it down and we suppress it, and then it turns into an explosion later on. I would talk about that in some other videos that are coming up that hopefully you will get to listen to very soon. However, the point that I'm making is this is a key time where we can't afford any misunderstandings about ourselves. The whole entire globe is taking back ownership of their identity. There are coups and revolution all over the planet, especially in Africa. There are arguments, debates, confrontations, wars, changes and transformations in how people see themselves and how others identify themselves at this time in our human experience. This is the time where identity is everything. It is everything. You want to make sure that your story is true to you. But you have to prepare it. As I mentioned, Venus is working on cultivation through Taurus. Soon we have Mars entering into Virgo, mid-June, which is going to assist us in focusing on refinement of the self. We want self to be accepted, to be competitive, to be valued, to be honored. And we want to feel like we have a quality about ourselves that can be negotiated. But we can't be delusional anymore. We cannot lead through entitlement. We cannot expect to have access anymore off of another person's name, social services and handouts, slipping through the cracks based off of our looks, our charm, and associations with others. Our identity will be gain of access or denial of access, depending on the refinement that we have put behind it, the cultivation that we have put behind who we claim to be. If you have not cultivated that identity, you will not be it. If you have not refined that identity, you will not be able to market it. It is that simple. And there will be no one to blame except the self. And all of this goes back to the image, which is upheld in the character, the 10th house. Understand? Aries represents our first house. Every one of us has an ascendant, a rising sign or point. Some of us have stelliums there. Some of us have a cusp, aspects, so on and so forth. However, it's a full description of your identity. And what is behind your identity, the depth of your identity, is the consideration of every aspect within your natal birth chart. However, your first house, it says everything about how you are supposed to show up, the role that you're supposed to play, the character that you're supposed to be, what influence you are bringing to everyone in your world and life. It is your assignment, your role, your responsibility, your duty that you must fulfill. And you have the job, I have the job to figure out how to make success of it. We are the architects of our ideal self. But first we need the clarity of who the self is. Between numerology and astrology, this can be made very simple to arrive at that clarity. However, it is no simple task to cultivate and refine it. Understand these two words, cultivation and refinement. This is where we're at with our identities. Cultivating it and refining it, because there are no more entitlements that goes behind who we say we are. We will be it, exemplify it, demonstrate it, showing and proving, because we are at the codes of masteries, according to Aquarius Pluto transit. This is not about perfection, it's about sincerity. We have Virgo at the South Node. That number 9 is pushing against any detriment with Venus. Venus going through Taurus is not here to spoil you. It's not here to rain upon you pleasures, consumption, and material. It's here to attract to you that which holds value to your identity. If we're not clear in our identity, we will overlook it. We will pass it right up and turn our nose up at it. Do you know yet who you are? Are you sure, certain, and clear about who you are and what you are here to do? What is your role? What is your spiritual responsibility? There is much to be said about it according to the natal birth chart. There are 12 houses to consider, 12 signs, planets, aspects, asteroids, stars, as well as the numerology. However, I'm here to warn you that everyone is not qualified to explain it to you. Knowledge will not get you there. Wisdom is what will get you there. Aquarius Pluto transit is about prioritizing the value, the impact, and the power of wisdom. That is the water poured in the gourd. Wisdom, not knowledge. We are past the value of knowledge. We are at the value of wisdom. How does your understanding of your natal chart directly correlate to your life experience? What you've been through, what you're going through, and what you shall pass through. Where are your responsibilities in all of those things? Every sign, every planet and aspect, every transit. What does that say about your reality and what you owe to it? What does your karma say about what your life means, who you are becoming, and what it is here to impart to you? Your North Node, how do you show up for it? How do you recognize it? There's so many questions to ask, but guessing is not responsible to do. You have to know, not guess. Understanding is the best part, and we get understanding by asking questions. I am the infamous astrologist because I take the right route that is not so popular, the route of wisdom. I'm not here to entertain with information, knowledge, and fancy speech. I'm here to explain astrology as a responsibility for you to inherit, to give you the burden of your natal birth chart so that you could reap the rewards of your birth chart, cultivating and extracting and refining the value out of it for yourself. I'm here to show you how everything in your natal birth chart relates to the reality that you walk through every single day. I can't help you if you're only listening to the videos. The natal birth chart consistently getting your reading is how you stay in a space of clarity and confidence about your identity from a cosmic perspective. You have to know with certainty, with conviction. The doubts have to be completely removed so that there is focus, because sacrifice will be required sooner or later. Dedication is required. You will run into obstacles, challenges, points of transformation that will have you to question whether or not you are ready to sell your own soul again, as we used to do. This is very real. But when you are anchored in the understanding of yourself, you don't even flinch. Who are you really? And once you have realized that through your natal birth chart, the consistency has to be there too. Let's not become the people who talk about things, who make sport of things, who just come to hear about astrology and then we roll over into the same reality that we refuse to take command of. Let's be the living proof. Let's be the evidence of what this can do and who you can become if you follow its instructions. Your natal birth chart has all of the instructions that you need for your life. It is the most important book that you will ever read. To understand astrology, you should use your own natal birth chart to come to that understanding by studying it. It is the way that I learned astrology. I learned it in fear. I learned it in trembling. I learned it in terror in my life and the things that I suffered. I had no choice but to understand it, because I felt if I didn't understand my life, if I didn't understand what I was going through, I wouldn't make it. And I'm sure a lot of you out there can relate. I'm new to sharing what I held as very sacred to myself. But if it wasn't sacred to myself first, perhaps I would not be as sincere as I am. I'm here to tell you, you have to take proactive steps with your natal birth chart behind your viewing of every video that you listen to. It's not enough for you to just be sitting, scratching your head, thinking that you have the full concept and understanding. You have to learn from a master. You have to stay under mentorship. It is the proper way. And once you get to a point where you have the understanding, not the knowledge, you have the understanding, yes, that is when you take a single course with yourself. But we have to get to results first. The natal birth chart is your greatest resource at a time where we are at the architecture of the ideal self. Before you start drawing concepts of who you are and what you're going to do, what route you're going to take, so on and so forth, know the cosmic description behind you. Know the cosmic instructions over your life. Don't guess. Invest in yourself. Invest in your destiny. There's someone who you're supposed to be. There are shoes that you have to fill, and you need to know what it will require of you, what it means. The gravity of it is great. Where we are going, identity is everything. Identity is what makes decisiveness. Identity is what lets you know where to begin with negotiation in life. It's how you realize what is valuable to you or not. What is valuable to you is not necessarily valuable to me. We have different destinies. When you know your identity, you see yourself in that which is for yourself. Understand that. Aries, Neptune, Saturn conjunction and the natal birth chart, this is a single focus. This is the time where the power of Saturn will insist that you go to work on bringing all the pieces together to form the skeleton of the concept of self. You have to bring that first house into full reality. You have to step into the full character of that 10th house. You have to relate to the world through the full algorithm of that 7th house. You have to root your mindset into that 3rd house. You have to draw the perfect philosophy of that 9th house. You have to negotiate with the world market from that 11th house. There are instructions for your life, and you can't just do what the fuck you want to do with it. You have to follow instructions. You have to follow directions. It was given to you. How can you have excuse? How can you say, oh, I didn't know, when you already realize you have a natal birth chart? What excuses can you have? We can't. It's too late. We know. And we can't take back the fact that we know better. Now we have to show and prove and demonstrate to all those around us the power of the natal birth chart. It has been commercialized. It has been watered down, especially by feminists, especially by the rainbow community. But the infamous astrologist is here to reintroduce what astrology is. to reintroduce its power and authority in our life, and the fact that we can lead with it. Our children we may have missed it as children, but our children, they can grow according to its instructions. Our relationships can be guided by its synastry. Our approach to business and strategy to our life challenges, goals, and ambitions, it's greatest informed by our natal birth chart. The issues that we have with the cleanup of self, the refinement of self, the cultivation of self, what greater instructions then in your natal birth chart? But you need the proper person to teach you, to guide you, and instruct you through it. Understand? So let's take it serious, let's be sincere, and let's become the living proof of what the power of the natal birth chart can do in a person's life. You may be the only book that somebody reads to really get that understanding. Let's become the proof. Let's become the evidence. Let's be it. Intention is everything. Aniya fi al-qalbi. Aniya fi al-qalbi. The intention is in the heart. Intention is everything. How do we form intentions in ignorance? Tell me how. How do you form intention in ignorance? You have to know what to set the intention on. Cultivation and refinement is here and is part of the architecture of the self, the infrastructure of the self, the grounding of the self, the foundation of the self at the earth points, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. But if you don't understand your Virgo placement, for example, your house in which Virgo presides, your Taurus placement, your Capricorn, how the fuck you know what you're supposed to be doing? How do you know what intention is set? How do you strategize? You're windmilling in the dark. You're guessing. You're fucking off. Understand? Let's get real about it. We should be an advanced community by now. An advanced community. And you can't say, oh, it's the infamous astrologist. It's because no, I show up consistently. And every time I show up, it's a sacrifice. Because what do I get in return for it? Understand that. But what's your portion? What's your responsibility? What's your end of the deal? We should be a community that's here to demonstrate to all those who may be new or oncoming to see there is possibility. There is hope. I can change. I can create the concept of myself. I can set myself free. I do have power and authority that I wasn't aware of. People are in confusion out there. Astrology videos one after the other. The conscious community, people with fancy hats on and all type of fancy names, but never coming to a clarity or understanding about the self based on what they're teaching. None of it converts to, at the end of the day, a responsibility, a process, a change or transformation that must occur within the life. It's just entertainment. And the comment section full of people entertaining themselves, lying to themselves. Oh, that's deep. Oh yeah, facts. Conspiracy theories upon conspiracy theories. Talking and talking and talking and talking. But what of it correlates directly to the life as a responsibility, as a process, as a commitment, as a sacrifice, as work that gets results? It's you, the listeners, the people out there, that's supposed to not allow it to fall on deaf ears. Becoming. We have to become it. You, the people, may be the only chance that somebody has at seeing. I came to a place that's different. I didn't just walk down the alleyway. Something is living here. Something is active here. Something is transformational here. But if you're not doing the work, how would they know? If you're not becoming the demonstration, the proof of it, how would they know? And that we failed the people. And we shouldn't allow ourselves to become that person or those people.